Yeah.
Welcome to the Rhinebeck Scoop. I'm your host, Jennifer C., and I'm dishing out social commentary about our beloved town. If you like this show, please give it 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Rhinebeck, this is your radio show, so give me topics you would like me to discuss. DM me, email me, or leave a voicemail. And if you'd like to be anonymous, I understand. It's a small town. I won't say your name unless you specify. Today we are discussing my scam victim story and the weight gain that's about to descend upon RBK due to a new establishment opening. Okay, first, a little bougie chat. Tell us, Matty and Jen, how did the fundraiser night go? I couldn't be there, unfortunately.
Well, first, I'd like to thank you and many of our hosts and everyone who participated because we reached our goal.
Yay!
So that's a really, really big deal. That means that Radio Free Rhinecliff can stay open another year because our goal really is just our operating budget. So thank you for asking. And then the fundraiser itself, the cocktail party was just sweet and lovely, and I think everyone had a great time. Thank you to Patricia Wind for cooking, and Matty, and Chris, and Dan Fisher for volunteering, and we really appreciate.
Awesome, Matty.
I second all of that, and the evening was wonderful, and I think everyone had a good time. They certainly stayed as long as they could.
We even played closing time. No one wanted to go.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I'm sorry I missed it. I will be there next year. Let me ask you a question. If someone, like some generous donor, said, okay, I'm going to donate $1 million, would you guys be like, fuck all these podcasters, we're going to Aruba? Or how would you do it?
No, we would.
Good.
No, we would expand our roster dramatically, and we would work on how to pay some of the podcasters.
Hello, me.
Yeah, you being one of them.
Top one. Fuck Andy,
Yes.
Fuck Norm, fuck all of them.
Of
me.
course,
I get
yes.
paid first.
There you go.
I think that we could even buy the building.
We might buy the building. There we go. That's
See,
what we
big
do.
plans, big plans. I love it. So I see that you have raised $16,290 so far, which is amazing. It's $2,000 or almost $2,000 above your original goal. Do you feel loved?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, that means the community really loves you. But you know what, you guys? We need more money because I need to get paid. I didn't realize this was an option. Now that it's an option, I'm like, you guys need to open your pocketbooks here. So if you love this radio station and would like to donate, because we always need more money, click on the link in the show notes. It'll go right to the GoFundMe, and then you guys can donate more. I think that's reasonable.
Well, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So my Boujee Banter today. It is a lesson for all of you in Rhinebeck. Not that you've done anything wrong. You've done everything right. But I want to go through a very personal and vulnerable story that I was like, do I talk about? Don't I talk about? But it's so fucked up that you guys are going to be like, okay, this is a little more serious, but it's also entertaining. And what I read in the Hudson Valley Pilot is that scammers are more and more out there, right? So people are getting scammed with these gift card scams. People are getting scammed with these bank scams, all sorts of scams. And it's getting really scary. You can't get around it. Obviously, we all know with our phone, there's constantly scammers calling us. I'm now getting texts, emails, the whole thing. So I want to tell my story in case anyone out there is a victim right now, or just to warn you guys and let you guys know how to avoid it. Let's put it that way. First of all, I want to say, and this is going to be a hard thing for me to say, and people aren't going to like it. You are not smarter than these scammers. I'm going to tell you that right now. It is because they have a superpower. They prey on people who are in a vulnerable state. I just had a very intelligent friend with a master's degree from a fancy school who was a victim of a gift card scam. She was overworked, she was exhausted, and they just caught her at the right time. It doesn't matter your age, intelligence level, if you're wealthy, if you have a higher degree, went to a fancy school, none of that matters. I was a corporate flight attendant, which means I flew on private jets with the rich and famous for 6 years. Shout out, Corporate Flight Attendant Podcast. It's one of my podcasts. And Matty's laughing. And I flew the billionaire who owns a major hedge fund. And that hedge fund was named in the Netflix show Inventing Anna. And this woman, Anna, had scammed this billionaire for millions. It happens all the time. No one reports it. So let's go into my story. This happened years ago and not in the state. I had a close friend who is like a sister to me who stole thousands of dollars from me. I reported it to the police and I found out that I knew her under a fake identity. And she had scammed multiple people in multiple states. That lit me the fuck up. Like when I heard that, I was not happy, very upset. I found out that she was wanted for this in not only scamming you guys, but other crimes in other states. And it was the most stressful month of my life because I had to provide evidence to the detective and the district attorney. And luckily I had all of it because she was dumb enough to give me everything through text. She admitted everything on text and voicemail. I had all the evidence, and I had to write a victim statement for the judge. The other stressful part of this was I was traveling at the time, and I had to go to 7 different banks in 7 states to get this all cleared up. So it was not an easy time for me. It was very, very stressful. So here's where things get interesting. So they go to arrest her. They try to. And she had barricaded herself in a house and would not come out for weeks. So they got a tip somehow, not from me because I wouldn't have known, that she finally was going to leave the house. I think it was her employer, and the employer said she has to come to work today or she's fired. It was something like that. So she finally left the house. It took 6 police cars to arrest her. So I don't know how many policemen. I heard from one neighbor 6. I heard from the other neighbor 8. It was crazy. So the craziest part, too, is I had to go to court and face her because when you do this, you actually have to stand there in court in front of the judge because the judge wants to see you. She was in the women's jail, and here's where things get weird. So I had been in that courthouse, unfortunately, to deal with this maybe 3 or 4 times before. It was a very busy courthouse, so I would see criminals coming in and out. I knew they were because they were in, handcuffs or something like that. She was let in shackles. I didn't even think that existed in modern times. And I'm talking, if you watch the movie A Christmas Carol, I think it's, who's the guy's name? It's Ebenezer Scrooge's friend, Jacob Marley. He comes as a ghost with shackles. And that sound is the creepiest sound. I still can't get it out of my head. It's the weirdest sound. And so that was a little strange. So I have a feeling she did something. I have a feeling she attacked the guards or did something. So long story short, I got back all my money. Thank you, Wells Fargo. They put it back in my business account in 7 days or something. It was awesome. They have my lifetime loyalty. I know people talk shit about them all the time. I went to 7 banks. They couldn't have been nicer and more helpful. So I know people don't like them, but I like them. And I learned a valuable lesson. Anyone can be scammed if you're in a vulnerable state. I had broken up with an ex-fiance. Then I had 2 more relationships that didn't work. And I was lonely. I was vulnerable for a friend. It can happen if you're overworked and tired. These scammers are good. The second lesson is if you are the victim of a scam, you've done nothing wrong. All you did was trust someone. I refused to sit in humiliation. When I went to Wells Fargo, they kept saying to me, I can't believe you came forward. No one comes forward. We're so happy you did this. I took action. Most victims will not take action. Lastly, weeks ago, Andy Cohen, the powerhouse behind Bravo TV, was scammed for hundreds of thousands of dollars in a bank scam. He said the scammers were amazing. They knew all the right things to say, and the email looked exactly like the bank's email. They knew all his numbers, everything. They knew his transactions he had just done. So you guys, I'm just going to say, be careful. That is my story. You don't want to go through what I went through. And if I had 4 hours, you would hear the whole story. But that's basically it. Matty and Jen, I was wondering what you think about that.
I'm kind of aghast. I'm, although, intellectually that makes sense. Of course anyone can be scammed. I mean, everyone, especially if you're like a good person and you're vulnerable and you let people into your circle and you pride yourself in being somewhat like street smart and savvy, that even probably makes it easier in some ways to be scammed because you're like, I'm impervious to this. So I'm sorry that happened to you though.
Thank you. Yeah, it was trauma.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Last month, there was an article in New York Magazine. Their financial columnist, I think her name is Cowles, she was scammed. She's the business columnist. She was scammed out of $50,000.
Wow. And
she talked about the scam. Personally, her description of the scam sounded like, I don't know why she fell for it, but I understand she did. But it didn't make any sense to me, but it happens to people who actually write about fraud.
Yeah, so you never know. So I just want to put that in everyone's head. It's a tough one. It was tough for me to get through. Something that really helped me, and then we'll move on, is I was watching American Greed. It's a TV show. And this one woman had called it an assault. And I said, that's the perfect word, because I literally had to go to therapy to learn to trust people again. I was so mind-fucked. It was unbelievable. I had trouble making friends again. It was a lot for me. So I want everyone to just be safe and be as aware as you can. And yeah, there you go. So let's move on to a quick white people's problems. Let me tell you, people, everyone's worried about me. I went to a cocktail party and people were like, Matty knows, people were like, oh my God, do you buy your vegetables at Tops? People had said to me, I will show you where to shop. I just want to confirm to everyone that I do not get my vegetables at Tops. I get them at Sunflower and Miglarelli's, which I think are good choices. Right, guys?
Sure.
I think they're very good choices.
There's nothing wrong with shopping at Tops.
No, I don't think there is. I've always had a good experience there, but people were really, I think because of the Adams thing, what I said about Adams, they were like, whoa, you're picking Tops over Adams. It's nothing against Tops. But yeah, I just want people to know I'm okay. I'm doing well, and it's all going to be fine.
Phew.
It's also true that, I do think Adams has a better vegetable selection than Tops. That I would just add that the overwhelming majority of vegetables at Adams are coming from the exact same places that vegetables at Tops are coming from. They're not all grown like locally. So, there's not that much difference, probably about at least 50% of the vegetables.
Amen. Thank you, Matty. Thank you for backing me up on that. I appreciate that.
I mean, especially out of season. I mean, I think the farmer's market is the ideal place to go when the season is here.
I agree. Now, we are going to switch things around today, and we're going to talk about my sour of the moment first. And unfortunately, we have had anti-Semitic graffiti found at Rhinebeck High School. Any thoughts, you guys? I mean, obviously, we're all against it. I'm sitting here with two Jewish people who are the hosts of the podcast, Jew 2. We obviously think it's disgusting and not right, and it's not acceptable in any way, but we know that. But any other thoughts?
I have lots of thoughts. I don't know how many I want to share. Certainly, October 7th, I think, changed the perspective of Israel and the conflation of anti-Israel policies with anti-Jewish, I think, is really probably the issue more than anything else. So I think I'll stay with that thought.
Yeah, I would actually totally agree with that. And this is more about an education issue. We're talking about, I think, a lower grade, and it was chalk graffiti, not to diminish the graffiti, but I think that they are just going to need more education as the solution to that.
I am going to say something really dark, and then I'll get really light. When I was in Eastern Europe, I hate to say this, guys, maybe not now, this was 20 years ago, but Eastern Europe is known for anti-Semitism. Mm-hmm. It's known. It's very prevalent out there. It's not what it is here where people are nice to your face, but they hate you. They will hate you to your face if you're Jewish. It's just how it is. I unfortunately had to teach neo-Nazis. And I also was in the community with neo-Nazis, and they don't like me because of what I look like. Obviously, I'm not white. So that was a really enlightening and terrible experience. And why I'm saying that is I am so glad they're making a huge deal out of this graffiti, because they should, and it should be out in the community, because if you just sweep this under the rug, it's not good. You need to get out there. Like Matty said, you need to get the education. You need to get these kids, not saying they're not thinking right, but let's just say the one kid who did it, you need to get them thinking right, because once it's out there and it's prevalent in society, it is so disgusting and so uncomfortable, and it's bad for everyone. It's not, it's not that it's just bad for Jewish people. It's bad for all of us. Trust me on that. So I have definitely seen that. I've experienced that, and it's not a good way to go. All right. So now we're moving on to fun stuff. Okay, my sweet of the moment. This has nothing to do with me because I don't eat gluten, but Mighty Donuts has opened in Red Hook. And they sold out by 10 a.m. on their first day. So I said, okay, let me see if I can bring some to my producers and see if they would like it. Now, I did not know someone would hand you a box of Mighty Donuts right before we started recording. That was interesting. But they're not the donuts that I brought. Better donuts. Ooh. My donuts are better. So I vibe with the strawberry, raspberry jam, the cookies and cream, and the Guinness chocolate cake. Oh, Jesus Christ. So I'm really excited for Matty and Jen to try them and see what they think.
Okay. All right. This is a surprise.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Where are your donuts from?
Mighty Donuts?
Oh, I thought you said you went and got them somewhere else. That's what I misunderstood.
No, they're from Mighty Donuts.
Well, then I want them
in
all.
Red Hook. There you go. There you go.
I will edit that part
yeah,
out.
I'm gonna
because I thought you were saying my donuts. I thought you really got them.
Yeah, I thought you made them.
Did you misunderstand?
Yeah,
slightly?
I did too.
That's all.
You think I'd make you fucking
No,
donuts?
I know.
Especially since you don't cook. I was just like,
No.
this is amazing.
Okay, in my head, I'll be honest with you. I thought you were bringing
gluten-free donuts. That's what I thought. And let's compare and contrast.
Let's compare this gluten-free donut.
Yeah.
No, it's because of the way you phrased it. It was just like, I brought you my donut. And that's why I thought, oh, this will be interesting, because I thought you went to Mighty Donut and there were none, and that's why you went part of it. Anyway.
Matty, you're just a hopeful person. That will never happen.
I'm actually pleasantly relieved that they're not gluten-free donuts and that they're Mighty Donuts.
That's funny. Okay, so I'm putting on plastic gloves to serve them.
You can touch my donuts.
You can touch them.
We're not that way.
No,
well, I'm going up your butts afterwards.
Okay.
Oh.
That'd be fine, except I don't want the sugar on it first.
Okay, so let's talk about what I brought you.
Wow, a knife.
Oh, I thought it was a scissor.
We have you.
It's my camouflage knife.
We totally have you pegged as the weirdest person. You brought his scissors to cut the donuts. The gluten-free donuts you're going to cut with his scissors.
I have here Guinness chocolate cake.
Oh my God, yes.
See, my donuts are better. I'm just going to put them on one, and then you guys can split them. And then the next one is for St. Patrick's Day. It's a special. It's called Irish cream.
I have an interesting story about the Guinness chocolate donut, by the way.
What?
Tell
I
us.
can't believe this. You have an interesting story?
Oh, this is
Well,
sticking.
before they
Sorry.
opened Mighty Donuts, they were selling them at the Epicurean.
I lost a lot of the frosting.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
That one's fluffy.
That's a yeast donut. The other's a cake donut.
Oh. These are yeast donuts. So tell us the story where you're...
Oh,
doing this,
yes. So
Matty.
they made these full chocolate cake donuts once, and they're so delicious, but they didn't make them for many, many months.
Uh-huh.
And then for my birthday, Chris asked them to make them again. And they did, but they said the reason they didn't make them at the time, because they didn't have the full facilities, they were just selling at some stores, is that when the way they make these is they throw chocolate chips in the dough, and then they throw it in the fryer. And apparently the chocolate chips take an hour to clean up, so it messed it up for all the other donuts, and they weren't prepared for that. So anyway, I'm very relieved that they have chocolate cake donuts all the time now.
Yum. So taste them, guys. See what you think.
We're going to start with the chocolate. Amazing. You have to understand, Jen.
What don't you like about it?
Jen has a lot of food issues.
It's a little. No, I'm definitely not the target audience. It's good because it's not too sweet, but I can taste the oil.
Okay, fair enough.
But
Maddie's
maybe
good.
that's the point of a donut. But
No, it's got a full chocolate cake going through, and it's got a slight bit of sort of like pudding-like quality in the center, which is good because they didn't cook it too much, which is always a positive.
Maddie, when's your birthday?
September.
You're not going to say the date?
No.
Okay, you'll tell me afterwards?
Yes.
Okay, Jen, when's your birthday?
November 14th. I want pizza.
Ooh, I'm getting you pizza. I'm December 11th.
Ooh.
12/11.
And what's your food fantasy for December 11th?
To eat more food, to be able to eat more food. Ugh, that'd be amazing if I could eat French fries. My life would be complete.
Which one is this again?
Irish cream.
Oh, this is much better.
Oh, good.
Delicious.
Very good. Flavorful. Moist.
Thank you.
Has a really nice consistency. I like this one.
Well, yeast donuts are always the best.
So this was a success.
Oh, total success. Mighty Donut's a dream.
Okay, yay. So I just want to say that...
That's all?
Yeah, I brought you 2 fucking donuts. And someone gave you 2 donuts. What
Well,
the fuck?
considering they cost like $22 each.
Exactly.
How much are they?
$2.25 and $3.25 each.
They're really good, thank you.
Yeah. And apparently I brought my friend a donut this morning because I was picking up yours, and I stopped by his apartment, and I got him coffee, and he said the coffee's really good.
I heard the same. I heard they have great coffee.
Yeah.
Plus, they have like breakfast. They have hand pies, which I have not.
Oh,
tried
I
yet.
didn't see that.
Oh, next time.
Yeah,
Next time.
We'll taste hand pies.
hand pies.
So my only suggestion is I think they should make munchkins or donut holes so I can just try a little taste. And
We
that's
can cut
it.
you a little piece.
Yes, no, I'm good today, but thank you. But yeah, so thank you, Mighty Donuts, for coming to our area and making us all fat. We appreciate it. To leave feedback on anything I've said today, I'd love to hear all of it. Agree with me, tell me I'm totally wrong, or whatever you want. Call and leave a voicemail at 845-307-7446 or email me at comments@radiofreerhinecliff.org. You can check out my 3 podcasts and my vibe at freespiritpodcast.com and follow me on Instagram at freespiritpodcast. This radio show is produced by me, Jennifer C., Matty Rosenberg, and Jen Hammoud at Radio Free Rhinecliff. Get ready next time because we have a great show coming your way. Allison Challa of Talk to Allison and Vulva Views and Shrinks and Drinks talks some very fun, interesting stuff. She has something actually very interesting to say about sharks that you guys can't miss. That show will drop on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. See you in 2 weeks. Love you, RBK.
Yeah.